Hydro's gave me Hydra figure online. Hi everyone, how are you both doing on this fine day? Right, work. Make it I didn't hear you because of the piano. Yeah, it does need to happen. I said hi to both of you and I asked how are your days going? How are you both doing? Okay, so I've been working. As you probably already know, I have been working, as I always tend to do. So let me just clear everything up. There we go. That's good. That's good. And there we go. There we go. There we go. Splendid. Good. What about you? I'm really glad to hear you're doing good. I'm glad to hear that. There we go. So this right here, we'd like to have f of x, g of x. I mean f of g of x. There we go. And then what? Good. Didn't do much today. A bit studying and done stuff together. That sounds like a good day. That sounds nice. That sounds like a nice day. Hold on, let me just reply to someone real quick. Okay. Right, so the video of partial derivatives is, oh, for a second my shift key got stuck, is almost finished, which is nice. All I need to do to completely finish it is f function, g function, and then default will be the x, and g would be the g function, obviously, and then this one would be its own selection, this one would be its own selection, this one would be its own selection, and then 610, like so, like this as well, and then like this, like this, like this. Beautiful. Working on a game engine, you're basically just background noise. Yeah, That usually, as I mentioned, that's usually how I expect people to use these streams. So that's good. Alright. For some reason my taskbar keeps breaking again. Give me. Oh, maybe it's Windows. Couldn't even grab this for a second. Maybe it's Windows in general. I don't know if I'm a programmer, building a game engine sounds difficult. Depends what kind. It depends what kind and how in depth you go. Because you can build a game engine out of modular blocks, as in, even in C, if you use OpenGL for graphics, or even better, some kind of wrapper for graphics, and then you use already pre-existing math libraries to handle all of the like matrix transforms and such, then it's quite trivial. It's something you can do in like a couple of hours. If, however, you go on the opposite side of the spectrum and you want to implement everything yourself, then I suppose the most extreme side of the spectrum would be OpenCL or something like that, which I've attempted and failed. The best I could do was with Vulkan implementing the graphics on my own. Yeah, this is genuinely how close we are. And even better, this won't be animated. This will be recorded. Oh, I could actually record this on stream. That would be nice. Right. That's all good, that's all good. We could actually record it today, that's true. Let me think about it for a second though. It would require a bit more of a complicated setup, because the way I'd like to do it is I would like to hang the camera straight down, as in... Why is everything so goddamn slow? 6464. Why is Blender using 100% CPU? I guess that's for writing. Why are 4 blenders open? There are only 2 blenders. Oh, well that's brilliant. This taskbar is just broken. Oh, it's always Windows. I suppose I won't be able to use Paint then. That's brilliant. Let me try Discord whiteboard, I think. Comically enough, that should work better, despite being significantly more jam-packed with, well, having a much more difficult of a time. Right. So, I should focus on one thing at a time, shouldn't I? Yeah, don't count your eggs before they hatch. Let's first finish the animations, and then once we're certain that all the animations are ready, then we can record the last segment of the video. Hi there, Ash. How you doing? dx equal to f prime evaluated at g of x multiplied by the derivative of g of x. Yeah. Splendid. I'm trying to get the geometry data from a font file right now. Not working. Oh, been there. Are you using some kind of library to preload the files, or are you trying to implement a library that preloads the files? Wait, weren't you doing it in Python if I recall correctly? Because then you most certainly are using a library. You know what? No, I'm gonna focus on my own thing. I just realized. No, I'm not getting distracted that easy. First, I have my own thing to finish. There we go. Roll in, that would be nice. I can. Splendid. Really splendid. F function, G function. Absolutely not. F function, G function. All of this would be G function. Neat. Why is my entire operating system running so slowly? Windows, for goodness sake. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn this on the camera. If you all don't mind, and if you do mind, then well, I can't hear you, so I wouldn't be able to see that you do actually in fact mind. And I'm going to be a bit of for a second. I can't, considering how I can't see absolutely anything, because I'm moving a whole bunch of equipment around. Yeah, it's going to be quite a logistically challenging thing to do, I would say. Alright. No library works, so I thought it would be simple to get the data. Oh, absolutely not. First of all, it's binary data, which Python is not a great language to deal with binary data. Second of all, the data would most likely be wrapped in metadata. That's how files work. Third of all, the standards differ, so depending on what kind of font you're loading in. If I'm not mistaken, there are two most famous ones. One of them is Microsoft's, the other one I don't remember. And third of all, wait, no, that was the third. Fourth of all, they need to load in the data based on, if I'm not mistaken, it's based on curves most of the time. So that depends if your engine has a way to deal with curves or only like areas defined by vector graphics without the curves, just straight lines. Unless obviously all that's relevant and you're loading in a pre-rendered font, because then that's an image. Then that's simple. Now, get back to moving. There we go. There we go. Alright, I'm almost done. say almost, I mean like solid halfway there. This shouldn't take that long, I promise. Okay, once again I'm gonna get back just to see if anyone tapped anything. No, nothing. It's just alright. I'll get them back and then it's gonna be funky. So I don't know how to operate this. Okay. Another piece of the project. I don't use Python. I use C# for this because I'm with that. This is more of an MSDF gen. I have TrueType interface manual open, so I hope to fix it in this year. TrueType reference manual. Fine. I'm going the side project. I've never done anything in C# because, frankly, I don't like the language. It's basically Microsoft's Java. Ah, it is the Apple's one was the other one. Right, one of them was Microsoft, the other one was Apple's. I remember now. Yep, that makes sense. I recall now. Well, good luck on your journey then. I must say, it's not an easy thing to pick. Yeah. It isn't stable, what I have done. I would not describe it as stable, but it should work in some sense, some way. I hope. Please. It does, in fact. My goodness gracious me, it does in fact work. However, we will need it to be more lean forward, which is going to be really goddamn tricky. Do I have rope anywhere? I have cable, which I can use as rope. Give me a second, everyone. I'll be right back. I need to find some rope. If only I had a thick one, alright? Can't seem to find any rope. That's the problem. I could have sworn, if the camera starts falling, by the way, do be sure to yell so that I can get back and catch it in time. No, alright, I will need to use... Can I use a cable for it, I suppose? What are you doing? That's a good question. I am setting up a camera. In a very peculiar and certain way. Hold on. Aim my first rodeo. I mean, clearly it ain't my first rodeo, considering how it's not even a rodeo. So what I need to do is I need to push the camera forward until I'm satisfied. Hi there, Rima. Hi. I need to push the camera forward until I'm satisfied with the distance. Something like this should be fine. Then I need to lock it in place. And then I need to move across the room and lock it in place to make sure that it won't fall. It's simple as these 3 steps I've just described. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but all of this is... Well, what I'm doing isn't particularly interesting. I'm just securing everything in place so that the very expensive camera, well, not that expensive, just expensive for my budget, considering how I'm kind of broke. That should do the trick. Splendid. So, now I'm back. Now all I need to do is I need to clean all of this away. That's a lot of stuff I've got, isn't it? I'm gonna get a trash bag just in case, because there's a lot of things that don't quite need to be here. And all I need to do is just clean it away to the point where we can have enough space for a piece of paper. It's that simple. Soldering away, I can go to the side. Oh, look at what I found recently. This is a camera. Hi there, Ali. Hi. I'm done my studying for the time being. Cut here. I genuinely would like to, if I do have the time today, and I might, we shall see. I might have the time. I would really like to make a teaching stream, in fact. How to use Blender. Hi there, Unholy Finger as well. Hi. Either how to use Blender or how to do coding. I haven't settled yet which one I should do. No, genuinely is a camera. It's from one of these. But it's incredible for me because they can detach. These black dots, that's what the actual camera is. They can detach. It's just that one of them has fallen off and I've just managed to find it. And I'm just very pleased with it because they're a bit pricey. They're like 30 bucks. Quite pricey for me. I don't have enough money to buy new ones. Close this off. There we go. I'll have to download whichever program you decide to teach. Well, it's either going to be Blender or Python. I don't think there's gonna... Well, I suppose the Python I would rather teach in VS Code, but it doesn't matter. That's just for the coding. Random miscellaneous screws, my favorite. Oh, it's been such a long time since I've done any like building. I would really like to do some actually. I would really like to do some building. But I don't have the time. No time. There ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay. What about C? C is my love. C is my first love of a programming language. The only problem is that it's absolutely and utterly useless in most scenarios because coding anything that you would like to code in C would take absolute ages. What you can do in Python in 30 minutes could be done in C 1,000 times better, but it would take 7 hours. Is this good enough? Let's see. I need to uncrook the camera as well, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, and I need to get a pen. Oh, jeez. Gee willikers. The reason why the camera has to be completely uncrooked. Actually, hold on, let me put some more pens. Alright, that's not pens. That's not pennage. There's using to make the texture as a function for the shape and then get point. Doesn't give me the points in the line of the shape, calculates the distance of the line. What's still to make it make sense? Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Actually getting into the C#, and by the way, once again, I'm really sorry for going like out and in and out and in, but genuinely, let me just grab you by your neck. Oh, you know, some people pay for that stuff. There we go. Still crooked. Unbelievable. I had to fix up my toilet today, by the way. I did manage, because my two options were to either fix up my toilet or to call maintenance. But I was worried that if maintenance wanted some money, then I just wouldn't be able to pay them. So I just fixed it up myself. And it was so funny because I just looked into the mirror and I looked like a just plumber from a porno. It was hilarious. Yes, which means I could move the camera a bit more towards me. Oh, that's good though. It is going to be upside down. So I suppose I should move the camera to be upside down. As in, I could upside down the camera. Apply the effect on the camera that makes it be upside down. This. Yeah, that's what the camera sees. And now, properties, no, filters. I need to do a test. So just for the test, flip. There we go. Now you should be able to see what I see. So what we'll be dealing with will be, oh, you can, that is magical. Oh, but another problem, because you don't, hold on. Not this, only this. There we go. Now if I go on and write something, is that oscilloscope to your left? Yeah, that's Ryan. That right there is Ryan. This is actually quite a nice angle, isn't it? My goodness, in the past that's how I should have been streaming. So, what we'll be dealing with today is simple. I'm just gonna do a test run, which will be, is basically dt of the Hamiltonian, which takes in time, position, and momentum, is equal to the partial in relation to time of the Hamiltonian, obviously, it's all left implied, plus the partial of the Hamiltonian in relation to position, but since position in itself depends on time, we just have partial of position to time, plus, and then repeat the process, this time for the momentum, because once again, momentum depends on time. So this should be simple on its own. Is it visible? Kind of. Hard to tell. Honestly, hard to tell. Hold on. Could zoom in ever so slightly and then move it like that. Zoom in some more. There we go. That should work. Camera's negative. Yeah, exactly. I was driving and looked at the toilet combo. So we have this, but then if we do what? Oh yeah. If we take the derivative of Hamiltonian in relation to, actually let me think, hold on. We can take in relation to positional momentum on its own. So we take the derivative of the Hamiltonian in relation to momentum. And since we know that the Hamiltonian is equal to momentum squared by 2m plus, not potential, only, I already messed up. It should be momentum, make it, oh my goodness, momentum squared by 2m is the kinetic energy, but we have double the kinetic energy, so it should be momentum squared by m, if I'm not mistaken, minus the Lagrangian, if I recall correctly. I'm doing this from memory, I really shouldn't. I mean, okay, Lagrangian is equal to 1/2 m velocity minus the potential. That's Lagrangian. Hamiltonian is equal to double this, which would mean mx dot. That would be momentum on its own. Mx dot squared, you bloody moron. Should be pm, like this, minus the Lagrangian. There we go. These are definitions. And so then if we take it, we have two derivatives we can take. I'm not saying they should be partial or not. I think they should be ordinary, if I recall correctly, which is in relation to momentum, in relation to position. In relation to momentum, the Lagrangian disappears because it doesn't depend on momentum, it depends on position and velocity. So if the Lagrangian disappears, all we get is the pm, which derivative of is just, not m, x dot, the derivative of x dot, right. My goodness, I'm making a lot of mistakes. But that's good, that's precisely why we're doing a dry run. And then Hamiltonian relation to position is slightly more tricky because the position goes to Lagrangian, which means we get the Lagrangian in relation to position, which we can expand into time derivative of the Lagrangian in relation to x dot. Lagrangian in relation to x dot gives us the derivative of this. 2 hops off multiplies by the half gives us mx dot. So we get time derivative of mx dot, which just gives us p right here because that's momentum, time derivative of momentum, which gives us just p dot on its own. And since this right here is just x dot, this is p dot, we can put them in, giving us the equation which has Hamiltonian in relation to time plus Hamiltonian in relation to position, Hamiltonian in relation to momentum. This one has to be a minus because this momentum, which I always forget about, is a minus. I absolutely always forget about that. That's because this is minus Lagrangian. Yep. So this becomes a minus and we get Hamiltonian in relation to position, Hamiltonian in relation to momentum, minus Hamiltonian in relation to momentum, Hamiltonian in relation to position, which is a setup for the Poisson brackets, which is a setup for the quantum mechanics. Isn't that just nice? I need to take my notebook and I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to write everything I'm going to write. I also have a script, which is nice. Alright. So, let's think. Drunk Science Notebook. I'm not gonna show you everything because some of the stuff here, well, this is the page we're dealing with, and I did the same. No, never mind. I didn't do the same mistake. Yeah, it should be px dot minus Lagrangian. Okay, that's good. So, I think that's good. I'm curious, what are you even working on? Are you trying to prove something and doing an exercise? What I'm doing is I'm working on a video about partial derivatives. This video, right here. And this video is basically almost finished. What I want to do in this video, however, I want to, at the end right here, give an actual example. That's the new thing I want to start doing. I want to make my videos with both animations, and I want to give actual like examples of them being used. And by them, I mean topics I discuss. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to record the segment for this section, where I actually explain, you know. So I watch your streams, I feel like I'm watching a madman with writings all over the wall. You're not wrong, you're not exactly wrong. I mean, hey, listen, all the supervillains, none of the supervillains has had best mates. I think that was their downfall, to be honest. Like, imagine if Dr. Doofenshmirtz had a best mate. I suppose that would be Perry, wouldn't it? Yeah. Or are they more of a fuck buddies? I'm sorry, God, it's been a long day, I'm getting distracted. Right, so let's, I think let's record, right? I have to be chatting as I'm recording because it's fine. I'll be recording sound. Ali, you're the Perry to my Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Okay, now if you don't mind, I'm going to get myself something to drink. Because what do you think? I'm gonna do it sober? I have some really nice whiskey. I have actually 2 bits of different really nice whiskey, which I know Remco will appreciate. But I am going to drink something healthy for a change, and that is not quite an idea. Am I stalling? I don't even know if I'm stalling at this point or if I'm just thirsty. I don't know if I'm stalling or I'm thirsty. Put that on the t-shirt. Okay. As you can see, I'm a bit disorganized with my thoughts right now. But that's simply because, well, it's been a long day. I'm fine. Shut up. There we go. Right. Oh, good old H2O. H2O is also tempting. You know what? I'm still gonna get some H2O. But mainly, I'm just drinking milk with protein powder because it's vanilla flavored. And for some reason, it tastes horrendous. I don't know how they managed to fuck it up, but the vanilla flavor that just tastes fruity. Which, hey, I'm all for liking fruity things, but not with milk. Disgraceful. That's terrible. Horrendous. The banana one was good despite it being a fruit. Confusing. Really confusing. And as a great man once said, I like my men like I like my yogurt. Sweet and fruity. Alright, so let's record the thing. I'm going to play myself some physics music. Banana taste and anything synthetic is bad, but it went actually well with the milk. The vanilla doesn't go well with the milk. Thank you, Rosima. I'm glad you liked it. I work hard on these jokes. Alright. So, I really hope I don't forget to unpause the recording when the time comes. Let me find like a clean piece of paper because it's difficult. They've just been laying in my cabinets. I'm impressed they still are in one piece. They were right next to the jar of oil, which I have. Okay. So first the Hamiltonian, in the video I say Hamiltonian Lagrangian. I'm thinking H here, L here. We're going to expand them into kinetic energy plus potential, kinetic energy minus potential. Why do you have jar of oil? Why are you asking so many questions? I'm sorry, are you a cop or something? What's with all the questions all of a sudden? Just asking... I'm sorry. So all of a sudden, I'm on trial right now, huh? Miranda rights. My goodness. Unbelievable. Right. It was for science reasons, okay? It's science. Can you oil yourself up? If the money will be there, if you're willing to give, how much are you willing to donate to charity? Figure. That's the first question. If you're gonna ask me if I'm willing to oil myself up, then the follow-up question I will say is, how much money are you willing to donate? Hi there, all matter. Hi there. How you doing? I am terrified of artists because they have the power to create, and that is an enormous power. Call atomic, by the way. You're basically saying $20, $20. Eggs gaming, I mean, yeah. I've done more for less and less for more. I've chugged a whole glass of raw egg for $200. That was one of the best deals of my life I made. The only reason why I work out is just so that the value of video of me being oiled up just goes up, so I can collect more money for the charity. That's the plan. Somebody wanted to send you a message. Hi there, Branko, how you doing? Yes, we are. I'm in fact, well, I'm recording stuff. As you can probably see. Oh, good. No, you don't have to. If I have $1,000 to drop right now, I would. The message. Listen, if someone is willing to pay $1,000 for just a video of me oiling myself up, who am I to deny that? So Remco, how is it going? I don't mind me, Remco. I'm collecting money for the charity. Oh, that is either one of the worst or one of the best pickup lines I've ever heard. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, it's also why. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Olmata, it's for the charity. That's the reason. It doesn't help that you're like one of the few people on the planet who have seen me borderline shirtless. Well. Anyway, you could turn Remco up. Oh yeah. Hold on, there we go. Yeah. What? Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, listen, the man is handsome. What can I say? That's not my fault. Oh yeah, right. I was recording. Well, that's what I was doing. Hold on. Oh yes, recently, by the way, Ronco. I don't know if you were on that stream, but recently we were talking about looks and like your image came up, and oh yeah, because we were talking about looks and handsomeness, so your image just came up, and you know the Remco J Oppenheimer. Yeah, and someone did like capture the image, which I found hilarious. Just like average physics enjoyer, and I just found it hilarious. You know, I just imagine like a meme of a soy jack and a Chad, and the soy jack is like angry with average mathematician, and the Chad is just a picture of you with like average physics enjoyer. It's funny. I just found it hilarious that someone looked at your picture and said average physics enjoyer. I just really liked that. It was just really funny. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They changed their profile picture, which I do understand confusion. And the dash, yeah. Actually, hold on, are you all matter? That could, I have never even considered, that could be someone just... I mean they do respond like all matter would. But that's, I have genuinely haven't considered the fact that it could just be a copycat. Yeah, okay, that's fair, yeah. Signature. Yeah, exactly. We would know. We would, in fact, know. No. I am, by the way, really sorry, All Matter, that every single time I like spell your name, I do capital A, capital L, capital M. I am, because I do know that you normally don't do that, and I do it. And I'm really sorry, but the reason why I do it is because I genuinely, in most fonts, lowercase L does look like a capital I, so I just in case, I always accent the L. Px dot by 2 and then 1/2 mx dot squared, so px dot by 2, which means this should be px dot by 2 plus vx, while this right here would be 1/2 mx. Don't make me chuckle now. Yeah. I am not joking about this. If someone pays me a large enough sum of money to the charity, then yeah, I'm fine. I'll do it. I want to. It's in my contract. Give me a sum of money, and I will consider. Yeah, but you need to join in like the D crew. That's not easy. That's like a cream of the crop. Yeah. You need to have a university. That is the requirement. We can actually really done. Do you know that you don't understand what you're doing when you have over 200 functions and over 50 structs to do one thing? That depends. In C, that's an average Tuesday, mate. Alright, so then we need to rewrite it as equal to px dot minus the Lagrangian. Well, I am working on the partial derivatives video, and I'm just using the Hamiltonian as an example of how partial derivatives is useful, because time dependent. That's the thing. I think that the way I'm going to end this video is because this video is about the chain rule and partial derivatives. So I'm ending with a partial derivative example, because when you derive a time-dependent Hamiltonian, you get a really nice, like on one side ordinary derivative, on the other side partial derivative, which is nice. Also really nice to work with derivatives, etc. And then I'm going to also end it with a cliffhanger for the next time for the chain rule, which will be better displayed in the harmonic oscillator. And then the harmonic oscillator will be obviously a setup for the Lagrangian, etc., etc. And C# does a heart attack. I've never done anything C#, so I'll trust you on that one. The only thing I'm worried is that I'm gonna mess something up. I could actually do this. There we go. So this will be kind of like 2k minus k minus potential. That's kind of the let's rewrite it. Simple. Hi there, Vollenworker. Hi. You feel like what? It has screwed me over so many times because I keep consistently getting the p in the derivation instead of minus p, because I keep forgetting that it's actually minus the Lagrangian that carries into the derivative. And I keep ending up with x dot and p dot instead of x dot and minus p dot, which it then doesn't make sense for the Poisson brackets if it's both positive, so I really can't fuck that one up. Yeah, exactly. What are you doing again? I'm recording a segment for the partial derivatives video. So why not? Do you have? I mean, if you have something to do, then you should absolutely go and do that. But if not, then do you need to reset? You're just pondering. I have a little bottle actually. I have a little bottle, but it's a special little bottle. I thought about taking it to the Netherlands. I'm going to show the bottle on stream and you will know what that bottle is. Can you see the stream? Because if not, then I just don't have to show it. This is the bottle I have. You know this bottle. I know it. Because, yeah, because you also have this bottle. But the fun thing about this bottle is that you don't actually know the liquid inside this bottle. I mean, it is whiskey. Don't get it wrong. It is whiskey. The thing is, that is not the whiskey you have seen when we have acquired these bottles. That is actually no. I'm going to text you what it is. I don't think I even need to text you. I think the fact that all I need to tell you is that I can tell you what it is by text, and I think that's it. You can just figure out. No. 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 The bottle has been Drunk, emptied, refilled. No. I can just text you. This is why I couldn't say on stream. That's what's inside this bottle. But yeah, that's why I thought about drinking the Netherlands. The only problem is that it's not quite as great because it has only, I think, 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. 3 or 5. So it's a bit young. We're going to pull in Interstellar just to age down the whiskey. Bromium? No, it is whiskey. No, don't worry, we're talking about physics, not chemistry here. It is whiskey. Yeah, we need to leave the whiskey behind, go on a spaceship. Quick swoosh around the black hole, come back. Yeah. The sacrifice must be made. I'm really sorry, by the way, that I'm not saying anything, everyone, but I'm just listening to the recording of the video to see what I need to write down. When I take the derivative, do we take a partial? I could just play it safe and I could just do partial derivative every single time. Because if I'm not mistaken, like yeah, I could just play it safe. Oh, but I could mess up actually. No, I need to take the ordinary. If I'm taking derivative of the Lagrangian in relation to position, I need to take the ordinary, don't I? Or do I actually? Position in relation to the Lagrangian in relation to position. Because it does depend on velocity as well. Take the partial. Alright. Yeah, but in Lagrangian we have velocity. Do we not? Also, I did note it down very physicist because I wrote note down Hamiltonian Lagrangian just as letters. Yeah, I kid you not, in my notebook, I have actually been doing that as well. Like this, for example, partial in relation of Hamiltonian relation to position. This is just H, with nothing else. So I've been railing against physicists not adding brackets to their functions such a long time. Yeah, I mean, I get it. We had this conversation before. Like, I understand it now. I don't like it, but I'm not angry at physicists. I'm angry at the universe, the cruel, indifferent universe that has created this situation. We're writing out equations with semantic notation, just it's exhausting. Can I, so wait, if I'm taking Lagrangian in relation to position, can I take it by the partial? Because what I want is I want the kinetic to disappear and just be left with potential. He doesn't read, he can't. Mods, can we kill X Gaming? Cheers for that. Okay, I'm gonna take the partial. Why am I gonna take the partial? Oh, well, because X Gaming said I don't read chat. No. And death is the only appropriate punishment, as we all know. And that's equal to the... There we go. Yeah, because it doesn't take momentum. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Or as long as you don't have a chain rule in relation to the thing you're driving to. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, I'll stand velocity. Which means partial in relation to x dot of the Lagrangian is equal to this, which means what we get is we get the partial x dot of 1/2 m x dot squared, and then cancels out, and what we're left with is m x dot. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It does make sense because, I mean, the trick with the time derivative is really clever. Oh, by the way, I didn't joke. I wasn't joking when I said today I was genuinely dreaming about physics. I was dreaming that I was in the classroom, and what's funny is that last time, I don't know if you remember, when I was dreaming about physics, it was bullshit. This time, it was genuine. It worked out. Because what happened, basically, was like there was this person doing maths on a blackboard, and they just... Huh? No, unfortunately it wasn't you. But they were doing basic, like, for your standards, they were doing basic stuff. But they were doing maths on the board, and they, like, we had the chain rule, f of x and g of x on the inside. It was genuinely f of x and g of x. And they noted it down, but we realized that we didn't know the derivative of g of x. So they just, like, evaluated it further along the function, where it just disappeared and was flat. And just basically got that it was 0 further out. It was pointless, but it was... But I'm still just really impressed by the fact that, like, my subconscious mind can do derivation. Yeah, something. I would say it was absolutely useless, but still fun. Hi there, Adrian. Did the budget for the Discord whiteboard run out? No, although the Discord whiteboard does look pretty interesting. Have you, Adrian, gotten my message actually on Discord? Because I have messaged you about the thing with the guy. Yeah, you do know why. That is actually the reason why. Adrian is the chosen one. There will be more chosen ones, but we need to first test out how everything is going to function. So I hope, Adrian, you don't mind being a test subject. That's why you signed the contract without even knowing it. Sorry about that. I mean, I don't know if we need to keep it as a secret. I'm happy to be your test subject. Alright, I'm glad then. Yeah, it does absolutely depend on Adrian. Adrian, would you mind if we share the reason why I've messaged you on Discord on stream? That's our Lagrangian derive. So right here I'm going to note down the Lagrangian as a function of position and velocity, just to show off that these are the only two things we can derive it in relation to. And next we're gonna have the Hamiltonian, where we're gonna have h of x and p. About me, I haven't really messaged yet because Discord's updating. Alright, understandable. We'll be using the second definition, which means that Adrian is Perry and make his Dr. Doofenshmirtz. No! We already established in the beginning of the live stream Ali is Perry. Ali, yeah, Ali is the Perry to my Dr. Doofenshmirtz, yes. I always need to express like my relationship with people in terms of series characters. So for example, me and you, like you're the Neil to my protagonist from Tenet. Neil, you know the two main people from Tenet who. The first one is genuinely, I shit you not, called the protagonist on IMDb. That's just what it's called, the main guy, and the other one is Neil. That's the one who has the master's degree in theoretical physics. Soon you will, and I find it hilarious. I'm still figuring out who I am. Aren't we all the time? Don't think about it hard. Just be yourself, live your life. Don't think about who you should be. Because when you say that you're trying to figure out who you are, that's not what you mean. What you mean is you're trying to figure out who you should be. Because you are who you are on a daily basis, and be that person. Anyway. So first we take the derivative in relation to momentum. The Hamiltonian. And then our Lagrangian disappears, which means we take the... What is the news? Alright, well, let the angry nerds in the comments have at it. Their loss. You know, oh yeah. I see. That's not gonna lie to you, Rinko. That sucks. That sucks. Oh fuck. Fuck. It's fine. I'm still figuring out. Oh, you're figuring out. I get it figured now. That's funny. Hold on, let me think for a second. Because I see what you mean, and I see your point, and it is actually... I mean, it's not important, but I still feel like I should mention it. Because yeah, no, it is important, because H dot is going to mean something completely different. Yeah, but it's still going to be wrong because I noted down the x as blank in relation to the dot as blank in relation to time, which it isn't. I can re-record all of this. I can re-record this, it's fine. Yeah. Oh well, we're gonna do a double take, I think. No, it's going to be yucky. We're gonna restart completely and start from scratch. This time it hopefully won't take me half an hour to get through half of it. I just have to be quicker about it. The Hamiltonian and the Lagrangian. Yeah. Not for this segment, no. Remember what I mentioned about like LaTeX equations taking ages in Blender? My problem... Yeah, there's a Manim as well, that's true. But the problem with Manim is that I think... Basically, I want to develop it as a habit for videos. I want every single video to end with a paper segment where we like apply the knowledge. And I think the restriction of, you know, actually animating it will mean that I just won't follow through with certain examples just because they will be too tedious. That's fair. You know what? That's completely understandable. You don't want people to see him yet? I understand that. I just saw you uploaded the poker video. I think my bedtime just went back 1.5 hours. I kid you not, it's genuinely entertaining to watch for me. I have been just unironically watching it. It is an entertaining video. I don't think it's gonna be entertaining for most people, but for me it's entertaining. A theoretical physicist, a mathematician, and a make it poker. A mathematician says the winner is determined by a certain set of axioms. The physicist says we can tailor expand this to see who's gonna win, but make it stayed silent, for he had an ace of spades. It could be even like more complicated, for he had a 5 of hearts next to. Actually, oh, is there a way to? No. Make it just drunk alcohol. No, I didn't. I have no idea what you're referring to. Kinetic, because we want to note them down differently, do we not? For the Hamiltonian, we want to note down the px dot by 2, but for the Lagrangian, we want to note down 1/2. Potential, which is like this. There actually are. The ones where you got the juicy tens, my goodness. And yeah, and when Ash it does put me in the mood to play some more. I have thought of it, but that would be such an annoying thing to do, because we would basically need to... We can't implement any rules, because that would be too much of a headache. We need to just do like a card moving thing. We can just move cards. I think a mathematician will have the upper hand because counting. Oh no. No. I don't think card counting would help you out much in Make It Poker. You would know, even then, it's too much. Hi, the caper. There we go. Minus the Lagrangian, like so, because what this means is 2 times kinetic energy minus the kinetic energy minus the potential energy, like so, and they are equal. Yeah. Yeah, so the dot is an ordinary derivative, obviously. Go. It's because I always use lambda in this scenario. It works. I mean, listen, if I was doing LaTeX, then I imagine, but I'm not, so you know, I can put the dot there. Who's gonna stop me? Minus the Vx, like this. And all we're left with is partial in relation to x. And last time I'm pretty certain, yeah I did, I forgot the minus. Thank goodness. There we go. I always forget about the goddamn minus when deriving. Because it's so easy to forget about it. Okay. I imagine this. How much power goes to animating your arms writing a paper in real time? These are pages actors. As the contract says, job hand job. It's getting out of hand. That's so. Oh, I don't have a callback. Oh, we need to. I would need to go across the room for the callback paper. So you need to imagine it. Velocity is the next one. So that's the chronic granola. Unbelievable. Ali, by the way, are you still there watching? Because you've been awfully quiet. guess we forgot to add a goddamn square to everything. There we go. I'm certain no one will notice. Giving us mass times velocity. Simple. Ask Ash to remove the minus from the math so you can't forget it. Do we need the minus in mathematics? Come on. Yes, that's our Lagrangian derived. Next we have so far 3 minutes recorded. Now it's gonna be only intelligent parts. That's the reason why I drink. So what we're doing here is p x dot minus the Lagrangian of x dot, like so. But once again, the Lagrangian disappears because it does not depend on momentum, which means that all I get is this. The struggle between watching good content or doing the rabbit hole of amazing digital circus Mexican live action authorized bootleg theater show. We've all been there. Okay. Then we get px dot minus the Lagrangian. I made the mistake where I haven't left enough room for the plasma. Now if you see text chat for the, hold on, let me see. Which one is the bootleg? I can't tell. Just increase it. Just increase my tolerance still works. Even my 6-leg walk robot, and I don't regret. If it worked, hey. How do you mean? I connected them to show that if you just take a derivative in relation to position, then you get a very boring answer, because you just get a derivative of potential. Whereas if you take the... Have I taken out the minus premature? No, it's fine. Whereas if you take this... Well, this is gonna equal the momentum in relation to time minus p dot, correct? Shit, shouldn't this be an ordinary derivative? Alright, good. I'm gonna leave it. Okay. How do you mean? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but this feels fancier. I like this because in this scenario you just get the derivatives like chained. It's a nice example. I will explicitly mention it. Hi, the macaroni caver, by the way. I don't know it from memories and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to look. There we go. It should be ordinary. Yeah. I'm gonna mention the video, I'm not gonna note down though. Because that will open a can of worms. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna mention it. I'm just going to mention using the Euler-Lagrange equation. Story for another time with the harmonic oscillator video on the topic. What do you mean backstabbing? Yeah. here is minus, I've stuck the partial, we're doing partial of m x dot, which this right there is just going to be the momentum, and if this is the momentum, that means what we get, p dot minus I actually haven't, that's good. Yes. Yeah. Alright, so now what we have is just the standard stuff, partial in relation to t of the Hamiltonian plus like on stream. Well, how about now?
I don't know. I'm not listening stream. Macaroni, come back.
We'll just assume it's fixed.
A brilliant strategy.
I switched to the full desktop audio.
This right here should serve as a nice display of the difference between ordinary and...
I really like this one because it does show really nicely like the difference between partial and ordinary, as in you have ordinary on one side and then partial plus other stuff. It's a pretty clear cut difference, nice.
Yeah.
This one is in respect to time.
Especially if you write it in dots like a normal person. Okay, maybe I should add normal person means normal physicist, which by default is not normal.
A partial does
You know,
feel like a more just derivative kind of derivative. I would say it really doesn't feel like the partial derivative feels like the whole derivative, whilst the ordinary derivative feels like the partial one. Or am I wrong in this feeling? Or actually, no. You know what? No, I take that back. I instantly saw I was wrong with my grand. I take that back.
I'm glad you're taking it back, though no idea what you said.
But wait, because we can keep going. Doesn't this equation look familiar? Well, it may not, but as we...
So now what we can do is we can rewrite this as x dot and this as p dot.
Because both of these derivatives are just in relation to time. So the respective values with a dot, and this is just our equations from before. So we can replace it like so.
And this one's gonna be a bit of a tight write, but I'm certain I'll manage. partial
You mean?
th is equal to partial. Oh no, that's a plus. It is meant to be a plus.
Also,
Yep.
you might want to add that you're not explicitly writing it down, unfortunately. You might want to add that the definition of how momentum is defined. Canonical momentum, that is.
How do you? Oh, the Lagrangian.
In this case, as a derivative of h with respect to p. Or, no, technically h dot, isn't it? No, Lagrangian with respect to velocity. But
There we go. We've gotten a completely new.
Would you like to just be in the end of the video? Because what we can do is I can just record like an additional segment
Like so,
for those who stay after.
now there is more to mention. But at this
Hold
point
on.
we would be entering the domain.
yeah, but you're using it in this case, so I guess it is kind of important.
Yeah, so here's my idea. What we can do is I can just hit the record button, record it with sound, and then we can just record all the notes on this. So, you know, the Euler-Lagrange, the canonical momentum.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, as long as you mention it, it's fine.
Yeah, so I
mean,
can,
more like, you have to mention it.
yeah, I can hit the record button right now. We can literally do it right now.
You mean we?
Yeah.
I am under the influence of some stuff, maybe.
Okay, I can do a voice, so that's fine.
Like, I don't want to commit to things, you know.
What I can do then is I can mute you and then I can say it myself.
I mean, I can also just shut up for a time.
Yeah,
You just tell me when to not shut up again.
I mean you can just not shut up because then I can just re-record, so it's fine. If I'm saying something like incorrect, you can just snap it and say it.
No, I don't feel scared.
I'll just be okay. So important notes. This only works because of the Euler-Lagrange equation right here. Otherwise, this step wouldn't be possible. There will be more about that equation in the harmonic oscillator video using the Lagrangian formalism. Then we'll touch more on that equation. And also the second thing, which is important to mention, is the canonical momentum, which is required for this, which hold on, I don't want to mess up this equation. Canonical momentum. Canonical momentum, because, where is it? Yeah. Partial of a Lagrangian in relation to velocity. That is it. No fancy constants? No fancy nothing? No. So the canonical momentum.
Bless. It's just a definition.
Yeah.
You've wrote it down before, actually. The partial derivative with respect to. Yeah, you've
Yeah,
basically
I haven't.
written that
Yeah, but I
down
haven't
already.
acknowledged. But the way I went about this is mass times velocity is momentum. That's how I went about this.
Oh boy, you have lucky potentials.
Yeah, it won't work everywhere. Worst thing I can do is I can re-script it and re-record it now that I think about it. I can do that actually. How much pieces of paper do I have? I think enough. Enough for at least like 2 or 3 more runs. So what I can genuinely do is I can just re-script this segment and then re-record it cleanly. And that might be a better idea. Yeah, I think that's good. Then I think I'm back. No, we haven't. We haven't had a high enough of a bidder, unfortunately, yet. But hey, My DMs are open. Like, they're not actually. Doesn't matter. The point is.
What do you mean they're not?
What do I mean? What?
But it should be open for this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, but they're closed in general, and I don't have like an automatic system for bidding. They're closed because I have a shit ton of bots in them. I would need to go through all of the bots messages in order to figure that out, and I just refuse out of principle. Well, yeah.
What if one of the bots is offering 200 euros for a bot then?
All of them are offering 200 euros, I have to tell you. Some of them are offering even higher sums of money.
Except
All I
for
need to
the-
do is click the link.
Oh, well, that's easy. That's just one button.
Yeah, that's true. Alright. I think that'll be it for today's stream then. I'm going to go record this off stream. Just all in big one take. And I think that'll be it. Tomorrow I'll try to do a different live stream as well. Or it might be as well today, I don't know. Yeah, a live stream and more educational live stream where I just like teach how to use Blender or stuff like that. Which will be a useful resource for the future. And I think, for now, that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a great day.